Hey, it's Ryan Chamberlin, author of Now You Know, and this week we've got a special session. We're going to talk about high performance team building.
This is the Now You Know podcast, and it is designed for influencers, and we're going to begin here momentarily. Now You Know is what we call it, and let's get going.
See, over the past 20 years, I've had the fortunate opportunity to build several large teams, several teams that have been highly productive, high performance team that have really given me the authority to teach the class that I'm going to teach today. And many of you watching this are building all different types of teams. Whether you're building it for a small organization, a volunteer organization, a direct sale company, a real estate company, there's all kind of teams that are needed to be built out there. So I want to give you some key concepts in your team building that'll help you take your business to another level. The first concept we're going to talk about today is going to be your core. We want to talk about focusing on your core. What do I mean by core? Well, a lot of times people approach me and they want to know, how do I build a team of 50 or a team of 100 high performance team? How do I build teams of thousands if you're in direct sales? How do I build a key team of 10 if I'm in a small team building atmosphere? And here's what I want you to know. You can build an army with 5 of the right kind of team members, 5 of the core members. So let me give you some guidelines, because what I want you to do for the sake of this class today is stop thinking about the big teams and the highly productive 50 or 100 or thousands, or in your case, maybe just 10. Don't think about the bigger numbers. Think about what my core team, my inner circle, the people I'm going to communicate with the most, what and who they need to be. So the first idea of defining your core team, and it really begins, big team building, high performance team building begins with this concept, and that is, do our values match up? Do we have a value match? Because here's what I've learned over the last several decades. If you're not building a team with people where your values are lined up, or you're complementing each other's values, if that's not who your inner circle is and who you're working with day in and day out, chances are there's going to be constant conflict. Now, I'm not talking about people that have different opinions on things, but if you have someone that values trust and someone that is not honest, that's not a good match. Well, you can kind of take that to an extreme, and I want you to think of a takeaway of this particular class today of defining your values. What are your top 10 core values, the things that matter most to you, the things that drive you the most? And think in terms of finding people that over the next 3, 6, 9 months, 12 months that are going to be part of your inner circle, but line up with those particular values. These values could be, we want self-motivated individuals on our team rather than procrastinators. If we're attracting procrastinators, we're not going to match up. So here's what happens when you define these values, and this is your first step in successful high-performance team building. Then and only then will you not get as aggravated as you might get when people tell you, no, I don't want to be a part of your team. See, it would make sense that you want to eliminate as much frustration as possible in the team building process. And you can do that by adhering to your value set. Don't settle, adhere to your value set. That way, if people do tell you no and they don't quite have all the values you wanted anyway, it's not going to frustrate you near as much. I see a lot of people trying to build teams, and they're trying to attract a lot of different types of people, and they're getting frustrated when all these people are saying, no, I don't want to be on the team. No, I don't want to be this role in the team. And they're getting all frustrated with individuals that really never matched up with their value set anyway. You're going to find out that when you begin to seek out the right kind of values, you're going to end up lining up with people a whole lot better. Now, here's what I want to give you just a couple more thoughts on your core team. Your core team may not come from people that you know. Now, this is a real eye-opener for me. As a young man in my 20s, I thought I had to meet everybody. I thought I had to develop personal contacts with everyone. And what I didn't realize was I might actually attract people that don't have all the values. They might want to be a part of my team one day. And they may not be a long-term player because our values match up, but those individuals that aren't a complete value match, or they're not long-term for my team, they're serving a short-term purpose, they could actually introduce me to long-term players, long-term value matches. And so you are going to want to look for opportunities to meet other key people. You're going to want to leverage the contacts that are currently on your team to help you find and meet other people that might be a more permanent part of your team. Here's another reason why this value set is important, and I want to end this session right now, or this concept on the core team with this. Once you've defined the core values for who it's going to take to be on your team in your inner circle, and you realize that it may not come from people that you know directly, although some of them will. Over time, you're going to be led to these people. But you also now have a complete definition of who you need to be to effectively lead the core inner circle team that you're looking for. See, oftentimes we don't view ourselves through the same filter as we view other individuals. Oftentimes we judge ourselves by our intentions, but we judge everybody else by their actions. And as a high-performance leader, someone that's going to lead a high-performance team, one of the key fundamentals we've got to start doing is thinking about things correctly. We now have a set of values. We have to understand this principle, that if we're not living these values as best as we possibly can, how in the world are we going to be able to attract other people that are wanting to live these values as well? So when we're thinking about our core five, when we're thinking about the team that's going to lead us to 50 or 100 or thousands of people, or that team that's going to lead us to the right kind of 10 or 20 in our inner circle team, that right kind of team that's going to help us go to the next level, whatever the size of that team might be, we've got to think about it in terms of values. So let's jump to principle number 2. Principle number 2 of today's class is we're going to talk about persuading rather than selling. See, I want to teach you to stop selling, but learn to persuade people, the right kind of people, to be a part of your team. All too often are there professional salespeople that know how to say all the right words, trying to talk people, beg people, plead with people to be on their team, and they're selling them on why they should do it. They're selling them on why they should be on your team or why they should be on this team. And here's what I want to talk about. Persuasion is a whole lot more permanent than selling. See, sometimes we can sell to people around us, people that we have influence with. That doesn't mean we persuaded them to give it all they got to really be a part of a long-lasting team. So let me give you a couple of thoughts here. Number one, don't rush the conversation. As you're building your team, oftentimes people want to get straight to the point before they've established a relationship, before they've really connected with those individuals. So don't rush it. If you met someone today that you think might be a great team member for whatever team you're trying to build, it may not be the time, it may, but it probably is not the time to begin to try to talk them into doing something with you long term if they haven't bought into you or your values as a person. So don't rush it. The next part of this is learn how to have a conversation. We should learn how to actually talk to people. Now, I know this sounds funny, but we're in a world where individuals have stopped learning how to really converse. There's a lot of texting going on. I'm not against that. There's a lot of messaging going on. I'm not against that. There's a lot of short conversations going on. I'm not against any of that. But what I want to add to the mix is this. Without a true conversation, you're probably not connecting with someone, and you're probably not building a know, like, and trust relationship. What do I mean by that? Well, that's the third part here. We've got to find out why they might want to do whatever it is on your team or whatever it is they're looking to do to accomplish in their life, meaning what's in it for them. Most often, people are trying to sell someone to be a part of their vision, to be a part of a team, and they haven't even found out why that individual would want to do it. They haven't found out what's in it for them, and they haven't begun the persuasive conversation of helping them match whatever it is that they're looking for in their life with being a part of your team and you delivering what it is that you're delivering. So we got to learn how to cast vision and tie that conversation together. So if we're rushing the conversation, we're probably not having it. If we're not even having a conversation, I don't even know what to tell you there, but we want to slow down. Doesn't mean it's going to slow down the process overall. It means we got to slow down and make sure we're connecting with individuals throughout our team building process. So here is number 3. Now we just talked about stop selling. Let's learn how to persuade. The last big key of today's class on successful high performance team building has to do with giving yourself a deadline. Now, this is a big deal for a lot of people. So I want you to think about deadlines in this manner today. You got to know how many people that you're looking to have a part of your inner circle. Let's just say the number's 5. What I'd like you to do is understand that there's a numbers game attached to this, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to just agree to the first 5 people you talk to. You want to have choices as much as you want to give yourself the opportunity to sift and sort through enough individuals to find the right one. So it works both ways. There's numbers. There's going to be people that don't want to do it. So you got to give yourself enough numbers to get rid of all the ones that don't want to do it, to find the few that do. But you also want to give yourselves enough conversations with enough people to where you're able to decide. You've got more of a decision on the 5 inner circle individuals that you're looking for. In team building, ladies and gentlemen, we are really interviewing people. I know we're trying to build teams. I know we're trying to recruit. I know we're trying to sponsor. I know we're trying to get on our team to help us reach our goals. But the sooner we're interviewing people based on their values, and the sooner we're persuading people based on values and conversation and what's in it for them, the better. So this begins with how many people do we need to have a part of this inner circle? Here's what I want you to do. Take that number. If the number's 5, I want you to multiply that by 5. 5x it. If you want 10 people part of your inner circle, people that you're going to be communicating with day in and day out, you're probably going to need to talk to 10 times 5, 50 individuals that have somewhat of the values that you're looking for to end up with the 10. That means 40 may say no. It doesn't mean they don't like you. It doesn't mean they won't eventually want to do business with you. There's a lot of factors that go into this. And if you just go out and talk to 10 expecting the first 10 to come, number one, you're selling yourself short, because if you only talk to 10, then you only got 10 choices with who you could have as your 10. That's not good. We want to multiply it by 5 to give ourselves enough wiggle room to almost guarantee that we're going to get what we need. See, we want to build a high performance team, not just a team. So if our inner circle core, I believe you could build an army. You could build a massive organization. You could build a thriving organization with 5 key people. So that means going out and talking with 25 people or so is going to give you enough in the mix to probably end up with 5. And what I want you to do is set a deadline on this. If your number is, I've got to talk to 25 or less people, we should be able to do that in 30, 60, 90 days max. If we're dragging it out over a year or two to talk to 2 people a month for a year, it's going to take forever, and we're not going to gain the energy we need for building our teams. So compress the work into a short period of time. If over the next 25 days you talk to 1 individual a day and you really get after it, you're going to create some energy and excitement, and you're going to be able to really glean from all those conversations to probably end up with 5 or 10 or 15 that want to be a part of your team, but more importantly, at least 5 that want to be or qualify to be in your inner circle. So, during this process of talking to 25 or more individuals to begin to build your team in this short period of time, here's what I want to tell you. Here's the good news. You're going to learn how to connect with people in this. Even if in the first 30 days, even if the first 25 you talked to, it didn't end up the way you wanted it, you're going to be so much better at building your teams. You're going to get so much better at learning to communicate. You're going to actually go through the learning curve that any successful team builder had to go through. And I want to encourage you, don't settle just because you talk to 25. if they don't have the values that you're looking for, don't settle for just any 5 people. Get better. Don't settle. Get better. Get better at connecting with the individuals that do match the values that you've set in place. Ladies and gentlemen, you can build an army with 5 excited people. You can learn to stop selling, start persuading. You can learn to do this in a short period of time to create momentum, to create energy, to get it done quick. Why would you want to do something over the next few years if you can get it done in the next few months to get things rolling for you and your organization? If you like today's training, you can grab more over on ryanchamberlin.com. I want to see you over there. Let's get connected and let's take our businesses to the next level. Now you know.